Hi there, I'm Lisa Sky, and today I'm with Alice Fraser, and we're talking about levelling up your solidarity. Alice Fraser.
Yes, Lisa, I think it's a very interesting thing to try to do, to work at being better at bringing people together, because we're in a world now where people are getting more and more divided and more polarised, and that can be fun, but it can also, I don't think, has a great outcome.
Well, it can be fun, because, I mean, you and I love each other, but we're so different in so many ways. Like in our comedy, I have built a career out of talking exclusively about sexuality and relationships almost, and that's like your one hard limit.
Yes, I don't talk about relationships, I don't talk about sexuality, but I think it's important for there to be some people who are like me, who can be a kind of a neutral bridge between two sets of very strong feelings on a subject. I can be the person who goes, well, this is an interesting way to look at it. Or have you ever thought that your enemy might not be evil?
You know, it is our job to educate people if we are able, if we have the strength and the energy. I find it really fun when edgy boys joke about sanctimonious vegans, because in my lived experience, I've met 0 sanctimonious vegans. And I mean, look at me, most of my friends are vegans. But I've heard, so the level of sanctimonious vegans I know is this many, the hilarious vegan bashing jokes is this many. And when I like go into bat for them and say like, don't do a joke like that, it's like, it's no fun. And they're like, oh, it's easy for you to say, you're a vegan. And I'm like, I'm not, like I'm a straight up omnivore. Theoretically, I should be maybe a vegan or be more considering of the food I eat, but I'm a lazy food bag and I'm busy with other activism. And so once you take the identity out of it, it's fascinating because then they genuinely have no leg to stand on. So it's like, yeah, you say I'm vegan. No, I'm not. Some vegans wear leather shoes. It's like, yeah, maybe they were gifted them. They're not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. They're trying their best.
See, I got in trouble with a friend of mine who is a straight white man, and he was annoyed that I was not more burn it all down about things like the patriarchy, because I have a piece in my show where I'm like trying to see things from their side, which is a fascinating exercise for me, and also for me has worked much better to bring people on to a more, what I consider a more reasoned standpoint.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, well, I can see why you would think that way, that empathy or that extension from a position of not talking about my sexuality, not talking about my relationships. This is just an interesting academic question. And I feel like that's a much more useful way, at least for me, to bring people over than the you're fucked, it's all fucked, burn it all down.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen that work to bring someone over to the side of the good.
Yeah, it's the shouty feminist example when like a teenage girl says, I don't really consider myself a feminist, and there's justifiable anger behind the woman that then says, well, you know, you're just a banana because feminism has given us this and this and this, and then they're like, you're shouting at me and whatever you identify as, I don't want to be that. So I think both sides, like allies and also, you know, people who are very openly, too openly, problematically openly queer, yeah, we do need to be a bit more patient with each other.
Well, I can understand why patience has run out.
Yes.
Structurally, rage is really useful. If you're using rage against structures, great, burn them down. But in a person-to-person thing, I've never shouted someone around to my point of view. And maybe that's just because I'm not very good at shouting, but...
Oh, I'm Greek and I haven't either.
Yeah.
We are natural shouters.
So that I think it's a problem from both sides of using individual people as a proxy for the whole group. And I think if I have a strength in the performance industry or in my brand, I don't get a lot of hate on the internet, in part because I don't present as a proxy for anyone else. You know, I don't look like a group of other people who are the problem or your problem or whatever from any angle, and I try not to do that.
Something I really like about your work, and something that I think a lot of allies could benefit from, is that you kind of make a virtual, is it the Agora Theatre, where the Thinky Boys in Greece talked about things and thought?
Yes.
They had the Thinks and the Twinks.
Yes. Working out and then doing philosophy. What a life.
Yeah.
What? The Greeks had it figured out, man.
And so I think that you have this like amphitheatre, Agora, and just, you know, one of those big things of like, let's discuss these concepts without any emotion attached to them, which is really hard.
See, but it's not so much no emotion attached to him. I think you have this one side, and I've had this thrown at me a lot, particularly by men, of like, oh, don't be emotional, take the emotion aside, be logical. But logic is a frame we put on the world. Emotion is real. You have to factor it in, but you factor it in as a chunk. You're like, these feelings exist, and if you do this, these feelings will come back. If you acknowledge and accept the feelings and make room for them, then people don't have to feel so head up about shoving their feelings into your face because they don't feel like you're ignoring their feelings.
Yes, yes. So how do you reckon allies can be can level up their solidarity? For me, I think queer people can, I know it's so hard, be more patient and like be self-aware about your energy levels, and if you do have time to properly educate someone or even just chuck a few links at them, yeah, just to kind of meet them halfway and take things with patience and love if they're asked for it in the same manner.
Yeah, I think for if you're an ally, then you are a bridge. And I think you should make an effort to be a translator. So for a queer person, being asked to justify their existence is by definition incredibly hurtful and frustrating and upsetting. And at the same time, for somebody who doesn't understand that world, it can be extremely frustrating to be told they're an enemy if they just are ignorant. Or even to be told that they're ignorant, rather than, oh, that's interesting, I'll show you this really cool thing that happens, and this is what happens if you put this ingredient in the mix, and if you tell someone they don't exist, they're going to get angry. Like, just being that sort of bridge, I think, is one of the best things you can do as an ally, other than supporting services.
Other than just throwing money at it.
Just throw money at it. But if you can throw time and energy at it, let it be that. Let it be that you're the person that people can ask questions of from both sides. You know, be the one who's like, no, he's not trying to murder you, he's just confused. And go, you know, when you say that, they think you're trying to murder them.
Yeah.
Like.
Good. So, love, patience, education, understanding.
Holding both hands.
Holding both hands.
This is the invisible non-ally over here.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being a part of Bent TV.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
People can find me at my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Alice Fraser, or my website, alicefraser.com.
And I'm at the Lisa Sky on everything.